I also host workshops for the 5 behaviors, and that ends up with accountability and trust. Like it's the 5 behaviors of high performing teams. And we talk a lot about trust, and we talk a lot about accountability and driving results, not from the top, but from within.
This is the next episode of Price on Purpose.
Greetings, Angela. How are you today?
Hi, Stacy. I'm so happy to catch up with you. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know the last time that you and I connected, but I think it was on Business Acceleration Playbook with Maria Daniels.
I mean, I think we've chatted here or there, but really lengthy conversations. It was when we were doing that podcast together. Yep.
So tell me what you studied. What is your focus on the PhD? What is it?
Yeah. So my title is Organizational Leadership and Development. And it's from the Education College because I'm focused on adult education. So andragogy, how do adults learn? And then my research was on the motivational influences of hourly manufacturing employees and why do they turn over? Why do they quit? So
interesting.
I interviewed employees, and they basically, I had a numeric survey. So I had a quantitative component of a qualitative survey for the people who are listening to details.
Yes.
But it's nice because the survey gives you a good indicator of how accurate it is relative to what they're actually telling me in words, right? The qualitative.
Okay. Understood.
So, honestly, they want to be long. They want to have their voices heard. They want, you can pay a fair wage, because I walked into an org that everyone around us was having turnover between 20 and 40%. And this org was at 0. I was like, how? Between 0 and 4%, right? And I was like, what? Okay. What are you doing right? This is going to be, what are you doing right? And there were people, by the way, from other companies that I knew who were now working at that. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to know all this information that I know right now, right? But they'll tell you, if you pay a fair wage, can I live on your wage, right?
Yeah.
So in Ohio right now, a fair wage is in the $19, $20 starting range. And then it goes up with experience for manufacturing, right? So don't get me wrong, minimum wage is different and all the other stuff. But starting your truck drivers and whatever else, they're kind of lower skilled, entry level, getting in. 19 to 20 is about what's happening right now. And so when I heard that rate, I was like, what are you paying them? And they're like, we're paying $19.50, whatever, blah, what everybody else is paying, really. And I'm like, okay, then what else are you doing, right? If you're paying what everybody else is basically paying at the moment, something else is going right, big time right. And so that was what was interesting, right? So we look at, first of all, the motivation parts, and the motivation is all I want to be heard, I want to be recognized, I want to feel safe. And there's a difference between the feeling safe part, or we talk about, so motivation and then hygiene. Hygiene is the rate fair? Whereas motivation might be, but we pay them 3 more than everybody else pays or something, right? So the hygiene factor is it something they can live on? Is it something that is going rate? That's hygiene. Motivation might be, but I pay them a bonus. And the same thing with safety. Are they safe, or do they feel safe? So it's interesting. You can talk about safety on a level of hygiene, or you can talk about safety on a level of motivation. And so it's interesting that when you meet the bare minimums, hygiene, you can actually take certain values and pull them over and make them motivators. So what this company did was, their safety standards were, again, They meet safety standards, like the OSHA guys are in and they pass all their audits and bare bones, like all the same things that you expect from an organization. But what they did differently than some of the others was that people had a lot more say in their safety. When they didn't feel safe, they were able to say, I don't feel safe and I need something else. Whether they were or weren't, they were allowed to have those conversations. And maybe it was just that they took a pause, maybe that there was more training. But I also know, like, one guy told me, so this is like straight up from the research, right? He's like, yes, this gentleman is older and I don't feel like it's safe when he works at height. I want to work at height so that he doesn't have to. Even though it was the older guy's job to work up and he was qualified and, could, the younger person wanted to do the higher job because he wanted to feel that the other guy was safe. And this organization allowed them to do that, right? They allowed them to switch jobs to feel like everybody felt better. Got it. Right? So he's feeling generous because he feels that he's taking care of someone that he cares about. Okay. And I truly believe, like, based on the safety factors in that organization, both of those people would have been safe. But they felt safer because they made a difference, right? Like, because they had a say in what was happening. Yes. So hygiene, did they meet all the safety standards? Would they have been safe? I believe the answer is yes. I really do. Did they feel safer because they were able to make some changes? Big difference, right? And so when someone says, and why not? Like, if the quality of the work is the same and the productivity is the same, why not let them do it? Right. So these kinds of things are really important when you're talking about how can you take something that's basic. Are you safe? Do you feel safe? Yes, 110%. Same thing. I have a question for you. Wages, right? Like, do you feel that you're getting a fair wage? Are you getting a fair wage? Honestly, 10 cents could make a difference in that conversation. Is it worth losing a person? Maybe, maybe not. Depends, right? If they're a good worker, maybe it's not. So those are the types of things, like being able to say, I need help. I need a different tool. I can't do this way. Will you hear me? Maybe the answer is, no, you don't need a different tool. You need to use this tool correctly. Let me show you. Training, right? So training, and again, that's like a big part of what I focus on anyways in general is, are you training? Are you upskilling? Are you bringing them along? If you say no as a management, get it, fine. Like, the answer is sometimes no. Correct. But the answer could also be not yet, or here, let me show you why, right? Like, bringing them along with your decision goes a long way to involving them and engaging them in the decision and making sure they understand why. You don't need this tool because it costs $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. This one doesn't cost that much, or we already have it. Frankly, we just already have it, and it can be used this way and that way safely. I'm going to show you how. I hear your concerns. Let me show you how to do it safely and effectively. Question. Makes a big difference, right? Because I love everything you're saying, but I need to know, in a company, so this is primarily so your research was in manufacturing specifically, in those types of environments? Yes. Can we add this research or apply it to another business in a sense where in the relation of the safety factor, can we discuss how to cultivate that openness to even communicate that? Because I don't have per se research, but from experience, I feel like there is a space where it's like this and this, and this is not happening. That's right. Meaning where
the employees do not feel safe, but they don't feel like they can even articulate that.
Yes.
So how would someone create that space of communication?
So on the one hand, I do offer a workforce listening assessment, right? So if as an organization, you are looking to understand what your people are thinking, if you're looking to understand why are you having such large turnover or you're having low engagement, I can come in as a third party and generally I will get more honest answers than you would if you're coming in within the HR group. I am also certified to do that, right? Like there's certifications associated with learning and keeping that data safe, et cetera. So I offer that as an opportunity to any organization. Does not have to be manufacturing. Manufacturing often likes me because I speak their language and I know what safety, again, I know the difference between perceived safety and safety, right? And if you've never experienced it, you don't actually know what you're looking at sometimes. And so that everything feels dangerous, right? Like if you've never been in a loud, dirty facility, everything feels dangerous, but that's not really the case. Right. So I have steel mill, foundry, forging, stamping, like the heavy stuff, explosion zone experience. Like, so I can go in and be like, no, this is actually safe. And I am certified to do those kinds of things, which makes me a unique player in that field. So things that I have done and things that an organization can do can look at. One, do you have a suggestion program that is looking for safety? Is there a mechanism for them to say, I see something and I want to say something and feel safe in doing so? And by safe, I don't mean physically safe. I mean psychologically safe. Am I tattletaling or am I saying there is a proactive program? Like I want to give into a proactive program that's looking for safety. That has to be driven by the organization. There has to be a budget and there has to be resources associated with fixing things. Yep. And there has to be a closed loop feedback on, you perceive this as a safety issue. This is a safety issue. This is not a safety issue. Or this is a potential safety issue, but because of the budgets, we're going to have to work towards it. We want to fix every single safety issue ever, but it is not realistic anywhere, right? Like you can't take off every single playground in the country because kids do need to climb. Do kids get hurt on playgrounds? Yes. Do we want them catastrophically hurt? We don't want them hurt. So there's ways of mitigating that. But, like that's why the playgrounds of the 70s are not the playgrounds the 1970s. Right. I was reminded now that we have to say the late 1900s. What? And we're right. Like this was 55 years ago. So
when you quantify it like that, it's like, oh my God.
I don't stop. But it's real, right? Like my grandpa worked in rebar construction in Chicago. Like he built most of those bridges in Chicago as part of those teams, right? He's like the guy that was like walking across those I-beams with they didn't tie off. They just walked right across. We were at a playground one time and they had one of those funny like dome shaped things that were the little triangles. Yep. He walked right up and over it with nothing. And all of us were like, what just happened here? Right? Like he was 65, 70. He just walked right up and over. Like he's like, what? None of us could do it. None of us could do it. Right? My mom was like, Dad. And we were like, what? Right? Like it was cool.
Superhero.
I would never allow a person to do that. And we were watching a movie last night. And my partner's like, that guy's not tied off.
Safety is
like, I'm like, dude, drink your wine. Like we're watching a movie, but the guy was not tied off. He's right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So like when you are working in this world, like you learn to see these things, right? And then just watch my grandpa go right up and over. And I'm like, would never happen in I would fire you if I caught you doing that at a manufacturing site. Like hands down, I don't even have to have like a second chance. You pull a stunt like that, you've been trained because you wouldn't be out there. I've already trained you. You've signed that you're going to be. because it's too dangerous, right?
It is.
So we talk about what has changed, and then we create systems for them to communicate. But then from the leadership side, you have to assign resources. You have to close that loop. So I have created, it's called we called it a safety app, but it was an online app. Like you can use it on your phone and you could take a picture of an unsafe situation and it would automatically go into our database. And so our safety engineers were able to see it, assess it, assign resources as necessary and budgets, right? And then we were able to close the loop because we knew who put it in. When I had originally gotten to that particular facility, their incident rate was like a 3.9 per man hour, like it's per million man hours, like these numbers, right? And to file a report was 14 pages printed. So,
oh my goodness.
To be clear, no one was filing reports, right? Unless there was an injury, because it was the same piece of paper, 14 pages, whether there was an injury or not. Well, so no one reported the almosts or the could be's, or there's ice hanging over the door in the winter, right? It could fall at any moment, but you don't know. And everyone's like, I'm not going to file 14 pages. You should know not to walk out that door. Right? Like it's too much trouble. With the app, you can be like, dude, the icicle's 36 inches today. We need to close off that door until we can get that area taken care of. Or just for this week, that door stays closed, or we go and knock it down. Like there's ways you can do temporary fixes and long-term fixes.
Yes.
But I don't go out that door every day. I didn't know it was 36 inches and ready to kill someone. If that thing had come off when someone came down, but someone walks out and they're like, holy cow, takes a picture, submits it. Okay, first thing we did was go out and knock it down. Then in the spring, the next time we had people up on the roof, we're like, hey, we need to take a look at what's going on. Why are we having one crazy icicle right outside that door? Yeah. But we know. I would never know that was a thing. And all you need is bad timing for an injury of that nature.
Legit. Yeah.
Right. So little things like that. Also, I'm 5'1". Do you know how many head injuries I have in a plant? Oh, not very many. Right. Other guys, they're like, dude, you hit your head here, here, and here. I'm like, you would?
Like, what are you talking about?
Not me. I'm not hitting my head over there. Right. So it is super important to crowdsource and then respond to the crowdsource. Right. So having something like that and not being, hey, that guy's a complainer, but that guy's actually looking with safety eyes.
Yes.
So we, in lean manufacturing and continuous improvement, we talk about, can you see? Do you have eyes to see? Because you have to learn for waste, for safety. We talk about those things. And then we have to create a safe environment in which they can report. I like this one because they can report kind of remotely. They only have to have a supervisor weighing in on it. Yeah. And we can we had one. My CEO did not agree. And honestly, it wasn't a big safety issue. I don't really think it was a safety issue. The CEO didn't think it was a safety issue. The health and safety engineer also did not think it, right? And we've had OSHA. OSHA comes out all the time. No one thought this was an issue. But, we had 25 people report the same thing as an issue. At a certain point, it doesn't matter. If we all don't think that this is a safety issue, if half the workforce is like, dude, that's a safety issue, it's important to understand the engagement element of that, especially if it's something affordable. Can we fix it just to drive the engagement? Oof. Right?
Oh my God.
Right? Because you're crowdsourcing. They don't know that everybody else put that in. We do. There were a couple of them that I was like, reject, because they didn't make sense. It happens. But then when you see it so many times, I would always look at data, how do you look at data in different ways? And we would look at this data, and I'm like, man, this one came up so many times. What are they seeing that we're not seeing? Maybe it is an issue when you're carrying something. Maybe it's an issue when you're pushing something. It's not an issue when we go and inspect it. It was inspected multiple times by multiple professionals. But if it's being reported so many times, it is important to understand that something else is happening that we're not seeing. And maybe we need to take another look with that team. Maybe we need to put a workshop together specifically on that one, or maybe just do it. Like if it's an easy fix, just go do it. Whatever that is. So sometimes it's nice to have those kinds of things because you almost have crowdsource ideas and you can like put together some stats and be like, I need to check myself, right? Like, like I was in alignment with my CEO and my safety engineer. I really was. None of us thought this was a thing, but 25 people thought it was a thing.
Yeah.
Then we need to listen.
Do something.
We need to listen.
Something.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Because this is what I see. Because my background is primarily customer care, the customer experience, and that's like my heart. Yeah. You know, and when it comes to whether it's within the company, outside the company, within the customer experience, I feel like there's some things, like I understand that you may not agree with it. Right. But at least listen to it, understand what the person is saying, look into it. And at the end of the day, if it's nothing, then it's nothing. Right. But the fact that you took the time to listen, that is what is going to increase engagement. Yes. 100, like that's what I see. Yeah. Because like case in point, the other day I had a colleague that was saying, actually the customer communicated with me and said to me that they didn't receive something in their email. Now, granted, it is possible it went to their spam folder because it wasn't from me. Right. But I know that this particular client is looking for my response. Okay. So there's a trust space here between me and the client. So when they didn't see the other email that came from same company, but different person, it's possible they may have overlooked it because it's not in the same email chain. Right. 100% possible. The associate says to me, well, they need to check their spam folder. I understand that. But just to appease the customer in this moment, to make them feel heard and seen, can you please send it again on the same email chain? Right. That's all I'm asking. Right. Because it's about trust. Yep. That's really what it's about. And I just feel like in a lot of companies where we see high turnover, if we just take that time to listen, that is what's going to increase trust and to get people to even share more with you, because there could be other things going on that you don't even see, but is a problem or creating that safety issue. Yeah. Yes. Mind-boggling to me, Angela. So I also host workshops for the 5 behaviors, and that ends up with accountability and trust. Like it's the 5 behaviors of high-performing teams. And we talk a lot about trust, and we talk a lot about accountability and driving results, not from the top, but from within. Right? How do you do that from within? And you do that by having a little bit of conflict, but you do that by setting the alignment, conflicting on the way to get there, but the goal is still the same. Yeah. And that conflict actually drives, like when I say conflict in this setting, in the talking of the 5 behaviors, it's, I don't agree on this widget versus that widget. It's not you're a jerk because you're not listening to me, right? That's a different kind of conflict. So right. You want to have these in-depth conversations, and then you have to agree to align, and you hold each other accountable, and you build that trust by doing that, and then you get the results. Those are high-performing teams. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Angela, I just want to take you, put you in this company, do the thing. I am for hire.